Yo, yo, yo. Hello, everyone. Sorry, we are a little bit late. Just running slightly late. I had to drive home. Yeah, okay. But we're here. Yeah, okay. 10 minutes late. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's been worse. But we're here. Give me a little bit of time. I just need to make sure everything is ready, and then we'll get started. But it sounds like you all can hear me, at least. So that's good. All right. Thanks for chilling in the. Looks like y'all had a nice combo together in the pre-chat. So that's good. That's good. Good stuff. All right. Yeah. Let me make sure things are okay. Okay. The mic is working. Let me make sure everything else is. I need to get all the chats open. Okay, there's TikTok. Let me see if Instagram is working finally, which it is. Look at that. All right. I can go live there. Let's get the chat set up. And then Twitch. Hello, everyone. Oh, I almost knocked my light over. 1 second. All right. Almost there. Let's go to this. Oh, that is down. Cameras. All right. Twitch is on. Hello, hello. Damjan, thank you for messaging on Twitch again. I'm glad I can see that. Let's get the other camera going. Live stream. Okay, so this one should work now. Hey, we're here. Okay, my hair is messy, but that's okay. We can at least see everything. It's 2 p.m. in Australia. Awesome. So it is a good time for friends in Australia. It's right in the afternoon. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. What's up, Dex? It is pretty late for you, Dex. It's midnight. Thanks for tuning in. Same with you, Guillermo. Good stuff. What's up, Thomas? Have a couple grids that are finished. Okay, working on some grids. Thomas also sent me a picture of the ninja from last stream. So if you saw last stream, I like randomly designed a ninja. And yeah, Thomas finished it. So that's lit. We'll check that out in a little bit. Why can't we see you? I think you can see me now. Can you see me now on Twitch? Is Twitch working? Uh-oh. Let me double check Twitch. My channel. Okay, you can see me now. That's working. Oh, it was earlier. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I just didn't have everything up. Okay, so we have that. We have this one, which isn't here yet. But this one, oh, there we go. All right, cool. So we're just about ready. The last one I need to check is Discord, I think. Okay, let me organize this Twitch chat so I can see it a little bit easier with the others. I might need a third monitor. That might be the real answer. All right, what's up on Instagram? Hello, hello. I know it's been a little bit of a while for y'all, but thank you for tuning in. Okay, we got TikTok, we got Instagram. I think Instagram we can shrink a little bit. Hello, Chris from TikTok. Thanks for watching. Greetings, crazy. True Toasty. Thanks for watching the stream. All right, I can see all three now. And then YouTube is the main one, so we're chilling. All right, let's get started, everyone. Normally I have a thing here to share, but stream schedule, but I did not make one for today. But we do have, some special events happening. I think the main content for today will be going over our member submitted posts. So there's a new feature for members and Twitch subscribers that if you are part of the Discord channel that you get access to afterwards, you can post up to like once. Right now we're just doing like one post a month, I think is enough. And at the end of the month, we will review, and that review will depend on what that person wants to do. So we have some people asking for critique, some just for general review, all that sort of stuff. I think it's gonna be pretty exciting. First month we're doing it. There's already some really cool stuff. Okay, let me get this screen share thing working. Also, let me test this first with Orit. I also have a new crease pattern that we finished, or that we were working on last time too. Okay, that's the ninja, this giant sword. So I made this one. What is this, 28 grid, something like that. I finished folding this one, so we'll check that out later. Now let me make sure that Discord's working. Discord. Where is it? There it is. All right, let's check if this works. Boom. Okay, that works. Awesome. Let me make this go over to... okay, actually, there is something that we were going to do on Discord earlier, and it was for the death battle. So things were lining up originally so that we could review some of the death battle submissions, but I think most people are late. So we don't have everyone's submission yet. I think we only have 3 of the 6 that were supposed to be submitted. So we can't do the full review on that today, which is fine. That's why we have the other thing. And then I think besides that, we'll go over my new design and then just kind of chat about some critiques and other things. But there's been some really cool origami shown in the last bit. So lot to kind of check out. And then, yeah, should be fun. All right, we are now kind of ready to go with our live stream. Looks so cute, the little box head. Yeah, the little box head is my background. It serves nicely if there's nothing else on screen instead of just like a plain black screen. So that's cool. All right, but how's everyone doing? How's your week been? I've folded a bit more than I normally get to do, which is great. And I kind of wanted to fold because next week, and kind of, so definitely next week, there won't be any stream. I'll be out of town. Just, family little vacation, but I should be chill. So no live stream next week. But then after that, I'll be on there might be one the week after. We'll have to see. There's kind of a certain circumstance with that. So it'll either be some crazy stream. It'll probably be still really short, or there's just no stream. But then after that, I'm working on editing the convention vlog for Origami USA and just like some other content projects and folding projects. So hopefully I can get all those things done. But yeah, how's everyone else doing? Dex, I spent at least 4 hours shaping the face on my new design. Are you proud of me? Only 4 hours, Dex? That's it? I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm proud of you. Good job. Keep working at it. Those things are hard. Nathan, to be honest, I'm still sad I had to miss the longsword stream. That's okay. We're gonna check out the finished longsword. I've finished it. I finished the test fold, which I spent a lot of time on. But I don't want to post. I don't think I want to post it on Instagram yet. I kind of want to fold it from a better paper, a larger paper, so I can get a slightly better pose than what I've got here. and just spend more time on it. Can hardly believe, I know this week went by really quickly. It's I guess the longsword stream kind of broke up the week, so it hasn't been like a full week since I last streamed, right? Guillermo, I'll say Takashi Hojo's boot. Oh, let's see. It looks like I missed him a chat. Mic is low. Okay, mic is low. Let's see. Gains high. Is this on? Is it okay for everyone else? I might have just been too far away from it. How to fold the Ryujin 3.5 like a pro. Let's see. Audio good here. Okay. I think we're decent. How to fold Ryujin like a pro is practice enough other origami stuff and parts of the Ryujin that it's easy. And then maybe you can make one that looks good. I'm on YouTube. I can see you. Okay. Trying to convince my parents to let me join. Sweet, sweet. Hair is messy. Folds are messy. True. Submitting now. Oh, is this for the member Discord thing? Yeah, okay. So if there's any remaining YouTube members or members that just joined, if you want, submit within the next like 10 minutes before we get to that point, and we'll get going. Okay, hope you're having fun. Hershey, I ate a burrito. It was good. That was my week. Nice. Hey, sometimes it's as simple as that, man. That's good stuff. One great burrito can just, you know, that's all you need. Your mic is super quiet. Really? Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna listen to my own stream. I want to check the volume on this. I have a plugin at 500% volume to hear. Who's Bryce? Yeah, who's Bryce? Mic's quiet. Okay. Maybe this isn't using the right microphone. Beacon mic. Monitoring. Let's see. Yeah, it is quiet. Okay. Everybody, don't turn your volume too high. I'm gonna fix my audio really quick. And I don't want it to break your ears. So hang tight. Gain 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, how's this? I think it's a little bit better. Maybe. We'll see once people respond. Yeah, weird. I think something. There's like 2 softwares that monitor this microphone. One of them is probably messed up. Good. Yes, better. Okay, is it still on the quiet end? Because I can boost it a little bit more. That's a lot louder. It's a little better. Okay. Cool. Much better. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to be breaking anyone's ears either. Okay, yeah, I think I saw the problem. So hopefully it'll be good. Still a little bit quiet. Okay. All good. Chris, thank you for the follow. Sounds like it's good on Twitch. Sounds okay on Instagram. Okay, thank you, Vishwa. But by the way, what's up, dude? I hope you're still folding. I know you might be busy, but good to see you, man. What's up, Vishwa? Talented designer there from India. Good stuff. Faraz, hello. Yo, that's my boy Raleigh. What's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in for a little bit. All right, microphone seems good. Ears already broken from my brother screaming. All right. Still a little quiet. All right. Let me. Oh. Mystery, thank you for the follow. Okay, I think it sounds okay on YouTube now. I just heard it from YouTube directly. Should be good. All right, so I think we're all good now. Let's get into some. Oh, a lot of follows. Hello. Mei Ling, thank you for the follow. Good stuff. Thanks. Welcome to the stream. I think someone asked what Discord. So you have to join the membership or be a Twitch Prime, or not a Twitch Prime, a Twitch sub, and then you'll get access on my YouTube channel to the members section. And that members section will have the link to the Discord. And then in the Discord, once you join, it should assign you a role, I think. But if not, you should see the origami review section. And let me pop that up real quick. All right, so here we go. We can have a quick look at what some people have posted already. So it looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 posts from our members so far. Once again, if you are a member, feel free. You got a little bit of time before we jump into these reviews, but we're good. Mainly, I joined from YouTube. My name is Kian. Hey, thank you. I was on YouTube. Sweet. Thanks for following on Twitch, man. Good stuff. Big CLG days. Gotcha. Raleigh, what's up? Dude, doing good. Had a little bit of technical issues, but we're good now. Hello. AU Cat, thank you for the follow. IU Cat? I might have pronounced that wrong. Start from the earliest post to the other. Okay, so Dex, you want to sleep, right? Is that why? I think, let me see. Date posted. So Mark's is first. By the way, this whole idea, shout out to Mark. We did a review of Mark a few weeks ago, but he just has a lot of good ideas and he joins a lot. I don't know if he's here right now, but thank you, Mark, for this idea. I think it looks like people are really enjoying it so far, and we'll see how it goes through the months. Okay, so we're going to do just a very tiny review of what we have from Death Battle so far, because the next round, I think, will be all over by the time I stream next. I think I'll still do a video covering the battle, just so I have all of them done before the finals, but yeah. It's not going to be as extensive as my previous ones. Okay, so let's take a look really quickly. So here, the first one submitted is by Chris, and his theme is Tarot. Now, Chris is actually going against Anise. So this is, kind of like the final battle, at least I think in terms of experience and design is pretty nuts. So we haven't seen Anise's yet. We've only seen Chris's. And yeah, the Emperor is like a tarot card. Now, if you're in the Discord, there was some drama around this post. You can check it out for yourself, but I think ultimately we'll decide, with votes on, if this is enough related to the theme, which I'm pretty sure it's very much related to the theme, but I'm no expert in tarot. So, it's up in the air, but in terms of origami, I think this is folded very well. Now, I got a little bit of a behind the scenes from Chris, because he started working on this actually at the Origami USA convention in New York. So I got to, see it from the beginning. And I got to say, man, this structure is absolutely crazy. A lot of times a 2-in-1 subject doesn't have a great way to connect each model to the other. And in this case, Chris even was willing to show the back. One, because there's a lot of detail on the whole body with these scales. And the tail connection with like the robe / hair of the Emperor is pretty seamless. Like, this is very non-intrusive. It works really well either as the hair or just as part of the tail. And it's a very impressive model. He also showed a photo that this is a very tiny piece. It's hard to tell from here, but the face is smaller than my thumb, right? So it's very hard to shape. Crazy, even just to complete the folding and shaping of this model. But yeah, very interesting. We'll have to see what Anise posts to, see who moves on, but that's really cool. Next up, we have Silver Paper. This is the 1v1v1 in the semis. And their topic is weird. Silver Paper made the Which, What, Who, which is from a Dr. Seuss book, I guess. So that's pretty cool. Has the book underneath it, so very, thematic kind of structure. And here we have the actual reference, which is very weird indeed. I think weird is kind of a cool topic to go on. Yeah, works out pretty nicely. As in general, I must say, sometimes if you pick a subject that is too weird, that not everyone recognizes, even if you provide a reference, might hurt you in voting, but we'll have to see. Next, we have maple syrup, so another part of the 1v1v1. And this is Kirigamist Lang, which I think this is pretty hilarious that maple syrup designed Robert Lang. You all know Robert Lang. If you don't, you should. And with scissors and then like a chopped up crane. And I gotta say, this is really impressive. And one fun fact about this is we actually had in the Discord a little showing from Dr. Robert Lang himself, right here. So this is Robert Lang's Discord account. And he thought it was pretty cool. And he got the beard color correct. Like, okay, if you haven't met Robert before, he's got a great sense of humor. It's so funny, and it comes like out of nowhere. You never really expect it. Maybe it's because we've all grown up reading his books or whatever. But yeah, really hilarious. So like, this is kind of a meme because maple syrup, just use like the plain white paper. And so like Robert's like kind of roasting his age a little bit, I guess, but it's like, as a joke. Like, these are the kinds of jokes you get when you're around Robert Lang. It's really funny. But honestly, man, like maple syrup nailed it with this face shaping. I don't think anyone's questioned, it much. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And it's very small. The beard goes crazy. The eyes are really, really impressive. And even like the hair and this, it's really good. Maple syrup absolutely killed it last round too. So yeah, this is fun. Really fun to see. Really fun submission. Very strategic submission, even though late. So maple syrup will get docked some points for being late. But in this 1v1v1, the third person is also late, I think. Oh, this is Far. Oh, never mind. Faraz was not late. Faraz was on time. I think the other two were late. Okay, yeah. So maple syrup will have a late penalty. Silver paper will have a penalty. Faraz will get full voting points. And hey, if you're a math person, even if you're not a math person and you've just taken enough math to know what imaginary numbers are, this is pretty cool, right? I'm not that great at math. I say that a lot in my streams, but I remember imaginary numbers were fun to learn about just because there's really weird things with it, just properties. So this is really cool. Square root of -1 equals I. I love it. Andy asked, what beverage do I have right now? I had to run the stream really quick, so I didn't get to get more coffee, but I previously had a cold brew. Now I just have water, but I might go take a quick break midstream and get a refill. Melian is doing homework right now. Robert Lang is the GOAT. True. I think 3 people late. Yeah, so Anise will also be late in his battle against Chris. I think he said he's going to try to post it tomorrow. So there will be quite a penalty. This is going to be an interesting battle for sure. It's unfortunate that there's going to be some late policy involved in who actually wins. It's no longer just like a fold versus fold type thing, but we kind of have to do that to make sure people aren't late. But yeah, voting might be close. Like this is going to be pretty crazy. Tarot, did I pronounce it wrong? Dex, the base of the model is so jank. Yeah, Dex saw it too. So it is crazy, man. Oh, there's Kian. Hello. Guillermo, I don't recognize it at all. And then, yeah, it looks like Lang. True. Robert in his 5-foot pair of scissors. Yeah, I know. It's like the scissors are hilariously big. Like, it's just so funny. This is great. He comes to visit this Discord. He mentioned very rarely, but very rarely on social media as well. But because of this submission, I think one of our Origami USA board members sent him an email, or someone else sent him an email. Maybe it was someone, not the board member. Someone sent him an email, so he was able to see it and checked in a little bit, which is for fun. Yo, Vishwajit, hello. Hey, it's been a while, man. It's been a while since you caught a stream. Hello. Glad you got to see this one. We're doing some review, and then I'm going to show my new design in a little bit. But yeah, so far every design's really good. Like, this is just the semifinals. I know it is getting towards the final round, but like, man, every round of this death battle has been insane. So good stuff. Nathan, hey boys, I have a question. What do you use to stream? Because I just started on YouTube on a different account and I only have one video and one sub. I use Streamlabs OBS. For a while, I just used OBS. Streamlabs is probably easier to learn, but I didn't use it because I like the flexibility of OBS. But now I'm paying for Streamlabs OBS, so I get all the fancy features, and that makes it nicer than regular OBS for me. So I still record YouTube videos on the regular OBS, and then I stream on Streamlabs. Because Streamlabs lets me go to Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all of them, all at the TikTok, all at the same time. Yeah, a lot of there's more features that I'm trying out, basically. Visual, yo, have you been buying our magazines? I have been buying the magazines. By the way, guys, Kagazi on Origami Shop, go check it out. I think all the magazines are up for sale right now. Yeah, and I believe I've purchased all of them. I think I've purchased all of them except the one that I'm in, because I got that one for free for being in it. So I think. But I have all of them in my collection. Dungeon, the face on the Robert Lang model is crazy good. I kind of feel bad for designers' mental health. Oh no, just like working so much. Yeah, you could. I think Maple Syrup was like grinding really hard to finish this in time. Yeah, really crazy. Shout out to Maple Syrup again with a insane model. Very nice. Thank you, boys. Are there requirements to stream? I think there are. YouTube will tell you what they are in your YouTube studio area. I think there's a bunch of things you have to do to kind of get set up. I can't remember what they are anymore because it's been a little while, but they should have some guides on like how you can enable stuff. I think you have to have 100 subscribers to stream. So if you don't start streaming on YouTube, you can start streaming on Twitch. Twitch, I think you can just stream. Got a job. Can't watch all the stream. Hey, I understand, man. Life gets busy. At least the streams are recorded. So, at least even if you miss it, you can watch them later. Oh, I see. Okay. Did I catch up with chat? Cold brews are great, especially for the humidity. True. It is pretty warm and humid in where I am right now. I think it's like 32, or maybe it went up to like 35 today. With like 70% humidity. Amount of subs. Yeah, I think it's 100 subs at least. Something like that. All right, cool. So that's the death battle for us. Now we can move over to the members. So we're gonna take like a little bit of a break. I don't want this to be like too much review all at once. I think we have 7, so we can go through a few. Dex, I think maybe I'll do yours after, like, second, in case you have to sleep. But yeah, so we'll start with Mark just because Mark gave me this idea and he was first. And here we have Archangel Michael. So we can read a little bit. Mark, there's Origami Archangel Michael. It was for the channel test. And then his questions are, is every detail identifiable? I can give face shaping critique and any improvements for future revision. And then we have a comment from Jared here. Mark, this is so good. I agree. This is very good. This is insanely good. Now let's see. I wish Discord will let me zoom in. Can I zoom in on OBS? I know I can draw stuff, but at least for this, let's try to get it to zoom in a little bit. Display capture? Nope. Window capture. Here we go. Can I click? I think there's a transform zoom. Is there a zoom scale? Maybe I just have to manually do it. All right. Oh, that didn't work. That, or I'm gonna save the image separately and then just screen capture that. Okay, that might be a better option. So let's do that. This is just like a little bit too small. Oh, can I open? Maybe I can just do this. Okay. All right. Let's do. Sorry, I know this is kind of janky. Is this a Chrome tab? This is a Chrome tab. Is it popping up? I think it's gonna pop up one of my other tabs that I don't want. Okay, let's see. Nope, we don't want that one. Discord. That's TikTok. It's Orit. Here we go. All right, so now we can zoom in. Ah, there you go. Let's go. All right, so overall reactions in general, this model is crazy. It's crazy good. You might have seen a little bit of the back, but there's so many different components to this model. How do I go? Right, there you go. So right, for one, complex model in general, we got a face, we got hair, sword, hands, fingers, feet, armor. And the armor is composed of vertical pleats. We have the chest armor, which is horizontal. We've got wings with feathers and scales that make up smaller feathers. We've got shoulder guards. We got indents for the elbow. Like any kind of thing you can kind of check off the mark, it's here. Different knee armor, knees in general, right? Shoes, like a sheath for the sword. Crazy. So in terms of like model composition, Mark, this is just absolutely insane. There's not much I can talk about in terms of like the design. And I know that it's going to be pretty efficient too, because Mark is just really good at doing this sort of stuff. But he asked, is every detail identifiable? I think yes. I would say yes. Face shaping critique and any improvements for future revision. Okay, so let's look at the face a little bit more in detail. I think overall it's pretty decent. I will find some things to be nitpicky on just because he asked for it. So let's get our drawing tool up here. Last time I saw the subs, it wasn't in 1,000. Dex is going to stay awake. Nice. YouTube been updating a lot. Yeah, the YouTube changes a ton. They change things all the time. Like now I think for monetization, they have different categories for shorts and for regular videos. Back when I hit it, it was just like shorts didn't exist, When I started live streaming, didn't exist either. The comment on my last stream was very strange. Was it the one where someone said I fell off? Yeah, maybe that account got hacked, or the kid just doesn't like me anymore. Who knows? Dummy, sorry, boys. Everything you figure out, we will need to learn too. There you go. I'm figuring out now. So if you guys start streaming and stuff, then I'll know what to do. Nina says hi. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining in on TikTok. Raza, hello. Thanks for joining on Instagram. And a French origami artist. Origamist. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to notice, or just note, I guess. Let's zoom out a little bit. This is important because I think Mark actually did a good job on this, and this is proportion. So we're going to take the head like that. Now, the angle that this has been taken in isn't straight on. So I'm drawing not in perspective, but in general. So this isn't fully accurate, but we can kind of count. Okay, so here, our head, if we do head lengths, right, will become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Generally, a head unit should equal, or the entire body wants to equal 8 head units. So if we have a head here, right, we want 8 head units, and that's kind of how you proportion the rest of your body, or the rest of your model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. So like you have your neck, you have your torso, and like this isn't going to be exact. We have our hips, we have our legs, and I think this is probably off. My drawing example, but whatever it is, it should be about 8 head units. Here, I think that it's really close. So we're at 7.5 out of perspective. It's probably a full-on 7. If I did it in the correct perspective, but I think it's still just like barely too big, just barely too big, to the point that my brain is telling me this is not as much of a anatomically correct human, but more of a caricature. Because caricatures, whether it's a comic, whether it's anime, whether it's cartoon, animation, anything like that, generally they will have an exaggerated head, because the whole point is to be more expressive, or to be, again, characterized in some way. But at least in terms of the size of the head here, or at least the size of the face, it little too big. And the hard part is, a lot of times when we shape origami, we shape everything else first. Like we shape the pose, we shape all the details, we get the hand, we get the wings, and then the last thing we shape is the head. So all our proportions are already set, and then it's more up to like how small do we make the head after everything. And it'd be hard before too. If you start with the head and you didn't design in accordance to the head size you shaped, then again, your proportions are off. But is it bad? By any means, no, it is not bad at all. I'm just being picky. So if Mark, you wanted to do a rendition where you're focused on realism entirely, then that would be the small change to do. But yeah, it's okay. Other thing, I think overall it's really good. The expression here, this mouth shape is insanely good. This is really nice. Super expressive. So if I were to do that, right, if I'm yelling like, right, you could look at the jaw structure change and the muscle change that happens in my face, right? So let me do like this. Right. So a lot happens, right? We have cheek going, the jaw, different angle, the cheek muscles flexing, up in my brow, right? It goes up too. Like a lot's going on at the same time. And like the reason this works so well is because the rest of what Mark shaped is, it's kind of working like that. Like the jaw's coming down. We almost have like the eyes, or at least the hair, like the distance from the hair to the eyes is kind of reflective of like this scrunch that it would be. So in the cheekbones here, right, we have them like at a sharper angle, and they're kind of raised compared to where this mouth would be. Yeah, really sold really well. This is kind of a hard thing to shape well, to do this. It seems as simple as just having an open mouth, but it's a lot more complicated when you're working with the paper. What's the model name? Yeah, Archangel Michael. Gabriel. Sorry, not Michael. Archangel Gabriel. Did I say? Wait. Hold on. Is it Archangel Michael? Archangel Michael, not Gabriel. Archangel Michael. Okay. Last thing I think I'll mention is how Mark did the eyes. Now, I think the eyes work well. Again, this would just be if you were to change from going for anatomically correct to more of a caricature. Then maybe it's fine to leave as a caricature. But the one problem I generally have with eyes that are made of flaps like this is the fact that our eyes don't work like that in real life. So if you look at me and any other human, our eyes are sunken inside our skull, right? They're in the eye socket. So if I turn to the side, right, they're not sticking out. They're under my brow ridge. They're under my cheekbones. They're sunken in. What happens when you generally when you have flaps like this is now there's a shadow of your eye being on top of your cheek or on top of your forehead. And it's like some kind of play you have to make where either you define a brow ridge that works or a cheek structure that works, or you just lean into the fact that it's a caricature and not anatomically human. So Mark did a little bit of both. Right now, it's definitely more caricature than human. There is no eyebrows. Yo, Sold Monk, thank you for becoming an OBB member. Thank you for supporting this channel. Go check out the members community posts. And if you want to join this stream's content, try to post something that you folded over there that you want me to check out, and I'll get to it. But yeah, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy. Join that Discord. I think you'll be amazed by how much stuff is in there that's really valuable to know. Enjoy. Dude, good stuff. But yeah, so Mark, in reflection, you don't necessarily need to change the structure of the design. But again, if you were to do another version of it, that would be maybe what I would try. And my example here is actually going to be using this mask I have from Levin, which you can see the exact points I made. This is meant to be more anatomically correct, where we have that brow ridge, and then under. Do you see that? How it's like the shape that reflects the human eye socket? It's sunken in. The nose is on top. The cheeks are on top of the eye. The eye is all the way in there, right? And the way to fold it would be something crazy. Like a squash fold from the other side. Something like that. Again, very hard to do. Very, very hard to do, especially with that size of paper. Like, this is a really big paper, and the details get really small. So you don't have to do it like this, but if you were to try to do it like this, you need to. That's kind of what it boils down to with this type of origami, which is kind of fun because this is like unexplored still a little bit. Yeah, just one of the this is just an origami problem, but overall the rest of it really insane. Like this model's nuts, is crazy. I think if there's anything else I would want to say that you might want to try for another version, if there's a way, like right now I can tell that this model is mostly based on your axis here, right? So it looks very box pleated. If there is some way you can just make the torso not so boxy, which I don't know what it would be, but like you have the details in shapes, but not so much in volume, perhaps. So whether it's just more shaping or some other change in structure, that would be cool. I think that would just add to all the other details. But again, that's like super nitpicky. I'm having to choose like crazy hard things just to notice to even pick out of this. Like okay, maybe the leg could be a little bit thicker on this other side, just to match up with how round everything else. But overall, very good. Thank you for sharing. This is excellent. I absolutely love this design. I think it's, you know, near perfection for what origami can be at this current period of time. Insane. All right, let's move on a little bit. Let's do decks next, because why not? And then after decks, I'm going to take a small break, grab some water, and then I'm going to show my latest design, which is actually just a test fold. But yeah, okay. Let me see. So Dex commented that this is by far my best design so far. Cool. So Dex, do you just want me to show it, or do you need any critique or anything, or anything? Just let me know if there's anything extra, but otherwise I'm just going to showcase it because it is very cool. I have kind of shown it in the previous stream, but here we go. Just show it. Cool. Okay, I'll show all these pictures. So Dex and I took these photos at the Origami Music Convention. This is actually taken in the gym, which is really funny. So the reason it's so yellow and warm is because of the lighting in the gym, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I think the photos still turned out really good. You know, I think warm photos are starting to come back. Warm temperatures. People are starting to like their oranges and not as much of the teals. So this is totally fine. I still kind of like teals a little bit more. But this is very nice. Dex, how large was this paper that you used to fold it? Because I think it's pretty big. Let me show some of these other photos. And yeah, this is one sheet of paper, one square, one crazy square. Hard to believe that so many tiny thin flaps can come out of one individual square. So, you know, if anyone is like questioning origami or they want to see like more, like this is just a good example of showing at like a brute force scale what is possible generally with you know, paper and how much we can compress it into flaps. Dungeon, as a person who loves designing creatures, this is amazing. Yeah, it's nuts. Dungeon also asked, did I finish the model from last stream? Yes. Kind of. I kind of finished it. But I will show it. There's a few other photos. Let me load these so I can just go through all of them. So we got all the different angles, and then I'll talk through a little bit on each one. Okay. Let's start with just the first one. I think one of the things I was most impressed with when Dex showed me this is my first impression was in person. So I got a little bit of a nice advantage in getting to see it in person. But these teeth, man. And to have the jaw actually like make sense with the teeth. This itself is really good. So this is almost what I would have wanted on my like two-headed dragons and stuff, where just the teeth and like where they're coming from out of the jaw make a lot more sense. So like I think this is one of the most successful parts of this design. It's just really nice. Oh, I just realized on like Instagram this is completely shifted. Hold on, let me fix that for everyone. I'm like, this looks really weird on the okay, there we go. Instagram and TikTok. Now it makes sense. But yeah, I think this is like at least my favorite part and like the most successful part of this design. Besides the fact that it's just like absolutely insane with the amount of flaps that are there because it's a skeleton. But yeah, I love that. I love that part about this model. And then even if I just zoom out, like if you just look at general structure, there's so much variety of flaps where like this one is made up of a few flaps that branch out from this long one. These are just really long ones. And then when we look at other angles, you'll see shorter ones. And even for the tail, there's like small ones and then like pleats. So actually, let's take a look at that. Let's go to the next photo. Okay, this is the back. And we can't really see too much from there actually, but like right here. Here we go. Right, just like look at this flap variety and where they come from. So like you can see like the reverse will go this way, and then underneath we have all this. So, you know, if you were to hold this model yourself, you could just like turn it around in every direction and just like find something really cool. Even the way these are shaped, like it's almost like these are like made of vertebrae, which is really unique. But yeah, the overall very, very cool structure. A lot of unique things besides just the massive flaps. You know, you can just look at it for a really long time and notice more details. Yo, Connor, what's up? Join in on Instagram. Hello, hello. Not on Instagram, on TikTok. That's my boy Connor. Hope you're doing good, man. Vishwa G asks, boys, I have a question. I've been doing origami, but I don't know how to make a grid. How do you make it? I have a video tutorial on making grids. Go check that out. It's pretty straightforward, I think. Some people get confused by it sometimes, but just watch it, try it yourself. Try it with a smaller grid first, and then go bigger and bigger and bigger. You should be able to figure out pretty quickly. Head looks really cool. Yeah, the head is really amazing. Nathan has to go. Thanks, Nathan, for joining the stream. Thank you. I hope you finish watching this maybe afterwards. Because yeah, but we're dropping a lot of like knowledge stuff in terms of like origami shaping. What's cool about origami. I titled this, I think in the thumbnail, right? It's like, how do you study origami? What we're doing right now, what I'm showing right now is just a good way to observe origami. So I think there's a difference in like consuming origami just in terms of, you know, looking at it and thinking it's cool. And the other way to consume origami is to learn. So if you want to learn from looking at origami, these just try to pick out stuff, right? Like I'm observing this. Even with marks where I was doing critique, it's not like I'm judging the model, but I am picking out, you know, what are the good parts, what parts could work better. Am I even able to determine what could be better? Because a lot of times if you can try to determine like, okay, what could be better or what's wrong with this model. And if you're wrong, right, then you know you have to like, okay, now I need to like, maybe I need to study something else to be able to accurately identify what could be better, what could be wrong. So stuff like that. But in this case, even if you're just appreciating a model, you can still learn a lot from it. And I guess in this scenario, it would be like, okay, if you want to design a skeleton, right? This is what a skeleton would look like when you vary the lengths of flaps a lot, instead of just having, like if you had a different skeleton, that every flap was the same length, which I think a lot of people start maybe with the same lengths for a lot of their bones, because they can't foresee ahead what they might need. So they just pack a lot of flaps of all equal lengths. But if you look at Dex's, because he's done a few of these skeletons now, changing those lengths can make a huge difference, and make it look a lot better. So yeah, hopefully that helped. I think that's what I want people to take away as they're watching this stream. And as I'm explaining this stuff, this is the thought process of why we're even doing this. But also because it's cool too. You can't leave that part out as well. It is cool. Ellie says, sorry I missed out. What origami is this? I'm at work. Just plugged in my headphones. No problem. This is Fold from Dex, a very talented designer, young designer. This was his alien xenomorph queen skeleton. So a very complex skeleton model. And we're reviewing right now the OBB members' monthly posts of what they want to submit. We got one more photo for Dex, and this is just another angle of the head. And again, what I'm going to do is just draw the head shape, because I think the head shape is just so good, right? And the teeth here. Look at that. It's so fierce, right? And then we've got the I don't know what body parts these are supposed to be for the alien, but spikes, right? Really cool coming out from the head. And even the arm here is very fierce looking. And we have all the little claws that do look very claw-like for the hand coming out. Very cool looking. Guillermo, the details on the skeletons were very impressive. True. Vishwaji, I have seen, but now like I want to make a model which is not made by anyone. I go blank. Which grid do I make? Oh, so do you want to like design your own Vishwaji and then you don't know what grid to use? If you haven't seen my crease pattern class, I would understand crease patterns, and then I would look at plant psychologist's design class, and then I would watch some of my previous streams where I designed stuff. So shout out to Dex. We're gonna wrap it up here for Dex's segment. Keep it up, Dex. Keep designing. I'm excited to see what other stuff you have cooking. But we're gonna take a little detour to Orit so I can answer this question. What you want to be able to do, Vishwaji, is to understand, like if you can understand how to see a crease pattern like this. Oops, I think this is 28. Let's do this. Why is it off? Oh, I think it's like this. Okay, so how I designed this model was I designed it without binding myself to a grid. So I removed these lines entirely on the edge. And then I basically only start with, okay, maybe I should just, basically I started with this. Like that as a you should also learn how to use this program, which again on the Plant Psychologist YouTube channel you can do, but because I can understand like that this flap is 7 units long, and then I can add a pleat here and it's still 7 units long, and I can add a pleat here, it takes up this amount of paper, it's still 7 units long. And then now in the middle, I have something that is like 3 units long. But then it creates this flap here, which is 1 unit long. Here's another one that's 1 unit long. And then I want a 2 unit long one down here. All right, so if you can understand the spacing of this, which you can gain understanding by watching the Plant Psychologist YouTube channel and part of mine. But this kind of stuff is more covered in plants side of things, like that this amount of space equals this flap. Then you can like start from scratch and build, you know, whatever you want just by saying I need this much for a leg. So now the leg is this, takes this much space. Oh, I need an arm. Okay, I want the arm to be a little bit smaller than the leg, but because I know how the spacing works, I know that at, you know, minimally it needs to take up this much space. Now I can move it around and put it in different parts of the paper to you know, depending on what I need, but at least it's going to take up this much space if it's on the edge. And then now like I want another detail, blah, 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 blah. So that's where you start. It takes a little while to be able to understand and be able to do that, but it is a very, very valuable skill and one of the more important ones to be able to design anything in this systematic manner with box pleating. So some people don't design like this, which is totally fine. But if you want to be able to design in the same kind of, you know, genre, that's kind of what you got to do. How big was it after folding from 120 centimeters? Oh, is that what Dex said? Is it 120 centimeters big? The completed model actually didn't shrink too much. I mean, it obviously shrunk a bit, but it's still pretty big. It's a pretty big origami model. Where do you get that app? If you look up Ori Edits. So let me type in chat for Instagram. Look up this on Google, and there's a GitHub link somewhere. And it should have the tutorial in that website. You just download it, run it. It's good stuff. Bob, I'm your biggest fan. Hey, thank you, Bob. What's up? Glad you like origami. All right, let's see what else. So Vishwajit, hopefully that makes sense a little bit. Yeah, Dex thinks his older skeletons are garbage in comparison to his most recent one because he didn't fully have this understanding when he designed that one. But now he has this understanding and was really able to make the alien design-wise and structurally very nice. I just gotta bang my head a bit more. Yeah, it takes time. It takes time to understand there'll be growing pains for sure, but eventually, I think the important thing you can take from what Dex just said is that Dex still tried even though he didn't understand everything yet. And then from the lack of understanding was able to kind of figure out what he didn't quite get yet. And as he gained the knowledge, it rapidly improved his design and he had something to compare to, which is great. What software am I using? This is Orietta. Let me see if I can type it. Is this in YouTube? Dex is cool. Very true. Oh, did I spell that wrong? No. Yeah, I did. There we go. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so Spot. That is the thing about origami. It truly forces us to look at our physical universe differently. Cognitive dissonance for some, more like, oh, I like that, Spot. That you're on it right there. Like when we're trying to turn something into origami or like start from origami and turn it into something else, yeah, definitely we have to like observe things differently. I think even sometimes my vision gets diluted. Like I'm always worried that I make something from origami and I show it to a non-folder and they ask, oh, what is that? Like they can't recognize it at first. And that's kind of my benchmark of like, is my vision getting too diluted into seeing origami shapes and like losing a little bit from like what a regular person would see. And so sometimes I have to reset myself so that I know that like I am looking, my eyes are correct, right? We have to train the way we see a lot. I think in all art, any medium you do, painting, drawing, sculpting, right? You got to train your eye before your hands. Can I see your origami? Sure, I'll share some of mine. Actually, that's a great question because we are going to see what that crease pattern made, right? So I worked a little bit on this on Monday. It was during a stream called I Wanted to Fold a Long Sword. I forget where I started during that stream. I think most of it was already collapsed. But what did it become? Long swordsman. Exactly what the stream was. Okay, so this is still a test fold. I'm not happy with this as a final fold, and I did it faster than I wanted to. So I used some glue for shaping, and it's not like entirely clean. But I wanted to see if the pose I was targeting was even possible with this structure. And no, it is not. It is not. The pose of my reference was just like a little bit too exaggerated. And with the size of flaps I have, I couldn't quite get that. Now, I think this pose is actually more reflective of what is possible in real life or what you would actually be able to physically do with your body, because the reference photo I had was from a Gundam, and Gundams have different proportions than humans. So, and it could just be like, hey, Boyce has skill issue too. So that could be entirely possible. But yeah, like the gist of the pose is reflected in my finished model, but it's not, man, like this angle of the specific pose is just so crazy to like see the fist. Maybe it's also like a color thing, but like I could not have the shoulder dip enough to have the hand be able to like, you know, be shown like that. But I think this still works, right? Like it's still kind of cool. I think the hand did turn out decent. It'll focus. Like it's surely a hand. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, like the main thing I was really going for here was trying to like see, okay, the body is like this and it's facing this way, or like it's a little bit more down, it's like that way. So like if I kind of have it in the same area like this, right? Same sort of pose, like can I get the body to point that way and the hips like going that way for one of the legs, right? And the other one is like angled like this. And then the arm like that. My arm is not quite in that same plane. Neither is this one as this one. But like I tried. Now, I think it's okay that it's not exactly like the reference. But I think with a larger paper, I'll be able to make it look even better than it looks from here. I also tried this random helmet design, and I think it's okay. I think I'm actually going to use one of my older helmet designs instead of having like this spike in front, because I think the spike is a little bit confusing. Like if you know that it's a helmet and you look at it a certain way, maybe it looks cool, but I think it's just a little bit weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. To beat the Dragon King, hello. Thank you for watching on Instagram. Welcome to the stream. Eric, failure. If the non-folders don't know what it is, I'm a failure. I see. Yeah, it always feels bad when the non-folders ask what it is, right? That's probably like the most devastating feeling ever. Vishwajit says, gotta run. Bye, boys and everyone. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Glad you got to catch a stream live for a long time. Good luck at your job. Posing fantastic. Thank you. I think, yeah, it's really dynamic. So even just trying to get to that reference, even though it wasn't 100% there, like maybe I'm like 70% there, right? It's still really dynamic. So in terms of like the goal of what I did, I think it's a success because it forced me to do something more dynamic. One wasn't one, but you know, my criteria isn't 100% to that reference, which I think is healthy. Completely different medium, and this is a test. Face needs more work. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm going to be changing this a lot. So originally it even started with like the bottom part of the mask, and it was supposed to just like be a flat face, and then I changed it to try to make it like a visor under here. But it didn't really work because now it just looks curved and the shadow is very confusing. So yeah, it doesn't work really well. It was a cool idea, but that's why we test fold, you know? I think these things are kind of interesting, but I think there's a better way to do this. Like even maybe that looks a little bit better, more like a helmet. Yeah, hard to say. Looks like a English Navy guy in a katana pose. I did practice to make a different head on the sword and shield design from Kami, and I managed to make a dwarf head, which is pretty cool. Oh, hey, that is really cool. That's very, very cool. Dancing swords. Swordsman. What paper is this? This one is double tissue. But the paper I want to use is going to be the Legion mulberry paper. Or cabbage paper, maybe. Cabbage paper is a little small for this, but I want to use cabbage paper. It feels so good. By the way, Jared, I have paper for you.
So half of these are for Jared, actually. Now, Jared, I think my phone, like, changed the colors. So there were some colors that you asked for that did not exist. But I got what I think you saw, and what was kind of close. So like there was no, like, there was no white. But yeah, there's yeah, I think I'll let you choose next time I see you, which might be a little bit of time. But yeah, these papers are so nice, man. Oh, it looks nice. Don't change it. I think I'm gonna change it. I think it can be better. I know it looks cool, but I think it can be better. I'm not happy with it. But like it's possible to do this. You know, I might keep some elements. Like I do kind of like this part of the helmet, and I like the angle of what the visor could be, but the inside needs to be better, and I think the top needs to change. Just to like the idea of what I'm trying to show needs to be more exaggerated. Helmets are hard to make right. That is true. You know, I think, yeah, I mean, we're like creating a helmet here, right? Very nice. But yeah, overall, right? I think it is cool. Like maybe if I hold it here, let's draw a, let's draw like a floor. That's not straight. Okay, hold on. Let's draw like, right. It's pretty neat. I think the sword being that big is really cool with the hilt. Again, I did this quick, so it's like a little bit off, and it's off from the hand. So I know how to fix that later. But yeah, the sword size is very nice. It's very big. And potentially with the same design, you can do other poses where this hand is grabbing onto the sword. And you know, maybe it's doing like a two-hand slash, right? So there's a lot of flexibility with this model, and it's closed back. Look at that. Look at that, it's closed back. Isn't that cool? When was the last time I like actually had a fully closed back? I've had a lot of like fake closed backs because I've been doing this spine origami thing for a while, but here's a real closed back. Sold monk. Oh, also on Instagram. Boys, I usually make an origami from printer paper, and I really want to fold some complex models, so I buy paper, but paper is not symmetrical. Okay. There's two things you need to work on. Sold monk. You should learn to make your own double tissue. It's gonna be a lot cheaper, and the process of that is you need to learn how to cut paper. Now there's many ways to cut paper. There's a lot of setups you can use to cut paper. Some are cheap, some you might have to save up for and buy, like a cutting mat. It doesn't have to be that large, but I recommend, you know, that will help you to get more accurate paper, because you can't rely on paper to be cut perfectly all the time. And even when you cut it, I think even if it's a little bit off, you got to get used to that too. I know it's, at least when I'm at the convention, it's very interesting. For very much beginners, paper being perfectly square does not matter too much to them. They don't have enough experience to realize that the paper is off. Their folds just might be off. And then once you start getting to intermediate level, they start to care a lot if the paper is, you know, fully square. Even people who are at an intermediate level, who have maybe been folding for 50 years, will be really, really annoyed if they think they'll fail if the paper isn't perfectly square, which blows my mind, because once you start getting to more advanced and then complex, super complex, we don't care much at all if the paper is perfectly square, mostly because we have the experience. But we folded so much paper that's not perfectly square that we know how to work around it, right? Or to like do something to make it better, or just that in the end we can shape and it doesn't really matter, right? We for some types of origami, not all types of origami, but like for some types, right? Like this, I don't care if the paper is slightly off. It could be one angle is very, very off and it wouldn't matter. But if you can get yourself to the place where perfect paper, perfect square doesn't matter, it gets a lot less stressful for the paper options you can use. Like I can go back and use printer paper and make things work just because I have the experience, and like it does not matter that the paper isn't the best. Hopefully that makes sense. I know it's going to be a struggle to go through. It's just part of learning origami at a more complex level. But it's almost very freeing when you can have paper that's not square and not worry at all. Boys, have you seen one of the Kamiya Divine Dragon, the Bahamut? Yes, I want to fold that. I think I mentioned last week we saw one. I really want to fold that. I haven't yet. Imagine folding a model with actual cabbage. That'd be crazy. That'd actually be crazy. Apparently you can, but the paper will rot pretty quickly. I just joined What I Do Till Now. We went over some death battle results. We went through some of the member submissions, and then now I'm showing my new design I'm working on. Hey, a closed back finally. Yeah, I know, right? Chris will be happy. Jared, so much is going on. You won't even notice after pre-creasing. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so yeah, like this was, I started with a 7 grid for this, and like one of the 7s was already messed up, but again, doesn't matter. Once you get to 28, as long as they're relatively around the same size, it's fine. So what I want to do, I think I'm caught up with chat, is I want to, can you move the joint arms and legs? So in this one, no, because I mostly glued it. Now, if I shaped with MC, I would be able to move it by just applying water or MC and then letting it re-dry somewhere else. I could probably do that still, right? But like most of the memories changed to like, so like this part I MC'd for the shoulder. So that's why I can do this. Oh hey, look, it's an action model, right? He's swinging. Ooh, this is the dull side of the blade, but like, oh, you know what would be cool actually is to have the model where it is like in a swing and I can actually like make it swing. That'd be pretty cool. That's a good video idea, like for TikTok or something like that. All right. I'm mentally like gonna remember that. Okay, sorry. I'm going on tangents. Let me grab the 24 grid sword and shield, which will look very similar to this, and let's compare the two. And then after that, I think I'm going to get some water, maybe a coffee, and then we're going to get through the rest of the member reviews, monthly reviews, and then we'll see where we're at from there. But hopefully everyone is enjoying. Let me know your thoughts so far in the chat. Am I talking too much? Is it good information? If you learned something, what did you learn so far? Or if you have questions about some of the things I'm talking about that you want me to talk more about, just let me know while I go grab stuff. And I realized the thing I have to grab is actually over here. We're going to do a little bit of an unboxing here. Legendary Samurai is so awesome. Thank you. Spot, lol, you used glue because you were trying to fit more steps into the line. Oh, that's true, right? I was trying to get the fingers to be done so I could move on. Yeah, in the final one, like, I find it very therapeutic to just methylcellulose and shape very slowly and adjusting very, very slowly over time. So I might not stream all the shaping as I work on it because I think it'll be like insanely boring. That, or I'll shape while we like watch or review something else. But that way it gives me the time to like really get the details how I want them to be, or to like all the angles and posture to be how I want it. And then afterwards, I'm probably going to glue all the backside of it so it stays safe. Okay, so here's the rest of the models from the convention. I kind of had to put them all in. Oh, this came out. So this was supposed to be locked down, but I guess it came out. And I think it bent the sword a little bit, but that's okay. Here is rooted. Got a little bit squished. There we go. And then here is fake head empty. Here is another one. And another one. And then we have the 24 grid guy, Sword and Shield. And then we got this big guy. Oh yeah, the lock for the... Okay. So I must have been mistaken. I thought that the box would hold this in place and prevent it from moving once it was sealed. But I guess this bent down and then it could fly out. Okay, that's good to know for next time. This one. Yeah, so a little bit of damage from that plastic thing being loose and the sword. But nothing a little MC can't fix to help it bend back the correct way. I think I'm also going to reset this display stand. So I might be taking this model off and just like repairing it. All right, good enough for now. I think the rest of it's fine. All right, so the ones we're interested in is this guy and this guy. Yo, Raj, thank you for subscribing. Hey. All right. Tabby says, one time I designed a Dragon Knight before and I forgot the crease pattern. Yeah, that's why it's important to draw the crease patterns, because a lot of time I've had that happen to me too, where I fold something and it's like kind of cool, and then I didn't draw the crease pattern and I completely forgot how I did it. You know, that not so much on like a box plate model, but on like a 22.5, more important. Hershey, any good way to learn packing crease patterns? I've been trying to learn to design box pleat. Makes no sense, and I've watched Plants guides. You know, Hershey, if that's a good question. I think there's 2 routes you could go. So what you can try maybe is you go take a, let me go back to screen share. Maybe you take a crease pattern, like, let's take the Samurai V3, for example, right? Which isn't that great of a crease pattern, just not gonna lie. But say you take a crease pattern like this, right? And then what you would want to do is redraw it yourself. So you probably have a image of someone's crease pattern that you found on the internet. And what you want to do is you want to open Origami and draw it yourself. So now you have a copy for yourself, right? And then what you want to do is, and it's at this point, it's okay that you don't have every crease flat folding correctly. You know, maybe the crease pattern is just wrong. I think this one flat folds. But what you want to do is then remove all the lines, or maybe you draw it like this, right? Or actually, maybe not. You remove all the unnecessary lines. I just look all the hinges, everything like that. Just get rid of them, so you only have ridges and like the base structure of everything. So I'm just gonna do the top corner, and I think this is just good practice in general for understanding crease patterns a little bit more. But in like especially for wanting to know how to design, this is probably gonna be helpful. So I like this. Let's just take this for now, so I don't spend too much time here. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to understand how to draw the packing from here. So when things are already in a crease pattern, then drawing the packing around it. And if you have absolutely no idea where to start, maybe you can learn how to use Boxplate Studio first and try that. I've never really used Boxplate Studio, so I don't know exactly how it works, but I know it generates packing. So if you can maybe simulate it, so it's kind of similar to the portion of a crease pattern you're working on, might be able to tell you. But the easy thing to do is, if you're just looking at ridges, right? Let's make it all valley, or let's make it all mountain for the sake of ease. Let's just make everything mountain here, right? Okay, so now what you want to do is draw the packing for every single flap. So we're thinking in flaps here. So we want to draw every single flap we can possibly do. So like, and the easiest thing to do, we start from a corner and be like, okay, that's how a flap works when it's in the corner. When it's not in the corner, right? This is part of a flap. It's like this. This is a flap. This one might be harder to identify. And then we have this one. And these are for the fingers. Right? And then this whole area over here is also its own. Oh, hold on, this here. This whole area is like this. And then from here, we even have like this one. Wait, what is this? Okay, maybe this is a bad example to use. This is why. Okay, this one is not a very good example. I don't know what. Okay, this is kind of weird, but I think this is a flap. There's something weird going on here, but something like this, right? Okay, so maybe you don't have to get everything, but you get most of it, and then like even here, like just understanding how flaps work, and if you can draw them like this, you're off to a good start. And if you can, like, if you practice on many crease patterns, right, to be able to do this, then you're going to be able to start drawing simple ones like this. Where and you should try to start simple. If you try to do too much, you'll probably confuse yourself. But like the way I designed this is literally, let's start from the corner. Let's make some short legs. Right? I need at least a little bit of space for the body. So I'm going to start my hand right here with this back gap for the body. Now I want the head. Head needs to be at least this long. Okay, now I have room for other things. Let's make the head have a little bit of detail. That's enough detail. This extends to the edge. Now I can make my grid, right? So pretend this wasn't even here. Now I could lock in my grid like this. Now I'm constrained to this much grid. Easy thing to do. Let's just copy this to the other side. All right, now I basically have this design. Oh, in the middle here, I need to fill this out. Let's just put in a flap like this. Oh, I have a little bit more space. Okay, we have a really tiny flap. At the end, we'll turn this into something. We don't know what this is gonna be yet, but we'll make it into something. And then this is a flap for the face. And again, we have a tiny flap up here. So that's right. So now I'm able to do this because I've, now you might not be able to get there yet, but like start simple, start working on stuff like this. If you go too low of a grid, it gets harder and harder, but like somewhere between like 16 and 24 generally will be a fine way to start. The great thing with like 16 grid is you can do something and fold it very quickly to see if you're actually correct in how you've made this work. But that's how you can like at least start somewhere. And I think that's a good place to start. Voice will make a perfect model and start roasting himself. That's probably true. That's definitely true. Sorry, I went on a big tangent there. But good question. Good question. I hope that helps. I think that'll help more than just you two, Hershey. I think that was a great question for anyone thinking of how to get into design. Sold Monk. Man, I really want to know about symmetry paper more. Bro, I think it counts as pirated content. We're talking about Mariano. Oh, can I make a... Oh, I see. People want an Ancient Dragon tutorial? No Ancient Dragon tutorial. I'm not allowed to. No one's allowed to. Steve, got off a long call. What I miss? I think I was just talking about either review stuff or the models I showed. Now we're talking about designing. Kaminiku, shaping plus watching something else would be cool because it's both fun to follow. Plus, it's a tutorial in a way. Can be used as reference when folding it. Yeah. Can you add rooted crease pattern on your website? Do you really want it? It looks like this. Maybe I should add it. Do you really want this on my website? Are you sure? Are you sure? Maybe you can just screenshot it. I don't want to curse people with thinking they can actually fold this crease pattern and turn it into rooted. If you want to try, by all means, go for it. But I think so. There are some crease patterns that I've shown to people, and then they like kind of get upset because they fold the base and realize they don't know how to shape it, and then they tell me and like expect me to tell them how to shape it. And I'm like, bro, I don't know, man. I just did it. Like, this design is one of those where I just kind of winged it myself. So I can't really explain how to like. All right, like this design, bro. This design. This is like I don't know how I did the house. I just put paper, a lot of paper there, and I just made the house. I can tell you how I made the guy. I can tell you how to shape that. The house, no idea. Some pleats, make it look like a door. Just enough to make it look boxy and grid. I don't know. Okay, maybe rooted isn't as bad as this. I think it's still cursed. I don't think people actually want to fold this, is why I haven't put it on my website. Yeah, I'm a little worried for people. I'm concerned about their sanity. At least you can see my tree, and that kind of makes sense. So maybe I should include that if I do post it. But like, I don't like all the crease patterns on my website kind of are there so that people can fold the design. But like, I don't think people should fold this. I think it's misleading almost on my end if I put it on there. But yeah, so if you want to fold it, ask for it in a stream, screenshot. And I screenshot, I'm right here too, right? So that's your screenshot. Oh, I hope that makes sense. It's probably not something you thought about before, but I didn't think about it either until I had to, and then I thought about it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why people are upset. Yeah, no, it makes sense. My old origami was a night ride on a wyvern dragon. Oh, that's cool, Tabby. All those level shifters? Yeah. And like I did, like, people might ask, like, hey boys, do I have to pre-crease these level shifters? I mean, you could. I didn't. you know what I mean? I just knew that I can mush it and it'll kind of get there. Do you want to does anyone want to see this? Like, if I have a really easy grid around, I'll show you what this looks like. All right, maybe we can show it here. This might be fun. This is so off topic, but let's just like make this more grid. Right, so there is a nice way to do it when you just have to do one. But when you have to do, like, what is this? Like 15? Don't pre-crease it. Also, when it gets small enough, so it is like very, very small on that end too. Let me think. I need to like. Okay, I'll just do a little bit. Like. Okay, so let's collapse this flap. Like normal. Hey, Sold Monk joined the members channel. What's up, dude? Okay, so we have this, right? So now I need to make this down like this, and I can just fold along the grid, and then once it comes towards the ridge, right? It's like, okay. It's like kind of getting here. Oh, and if all I have to do is just like squish this a little bit this way, and look at that. There we go. Okay, so maybe it was like a little bit cleaner than that when I actually folded it, but not much. It was basically, okay, I have all the grids good. It like is supposed to kind of be a squash fold close sync, but you can just force the close sync and kind of the squash and just fold along the grid until it's happy. And you get like all of these running through. But like it's basically like, yeah. Like, no, don't pre-crease that. Definitely don't pre-crease that. I don't know if that made any sense. Maybe a little bit. Okay, what was I supposed to talk about before? I think I was just reading chat. Good question. Good question. That was entertaining. Here's here's the 24 grid swordsman. Here's the 28 grid long swordsman. So these are the same size paper. I think it's like 45 to 48 centimeter double tissue, something like that. You can see how like the slight change in grid size affects the overall like thickness of the grid units, and in terms of like how that affects how the proportion of things look relative to each other. But because both things are folded like the spine structure, like this one doesn't have really a closed back and this one does. The technique I used for like that little thing is basically the same as this, but this is a much longer flap, so it actually works better as a closed back. But yeah, pretty cool, right? Same finger structures on the offhand, except one of them has a shield, another doesn't. And the swords are the swords are the thing that's the most different. This hand is actually not terribly larger than the other one, but it's still a little bit thick. This one I just messed up, but the fingers are thin. I just messed up the handle. Pretty close. And then this sword is 4 grid units long. This one is 6. But maybe 5 because I used 1 for that. Interesting, huh? Interesting. And then I could put this exact helmet on this guy, which probably looks cooler, actually. 4 Knights is... Oh, goodness, yeah. Is that on there? I should take the 4 Knights off my website. Is that on there? That might be on there. I should take it down. 4 Knights is so bad. Oh, man. Yeah, there's no river between any of the knights, so that's the problem. Should I leave it up there because it's been up there? It's like cooking that goes beyond a recipe. Looks cool though. Thank you. Yeah, that's what you can learn, right? Even if you have a terrible design structure, it can look cool, right? And only very few people in the origami community will disagree. So now you might really like those people and like it'll push you to be better, which you probably should be better. But hey, to 99% of the rest of the world, no one's going to care how bad the designing is, right? Oh, man. Kubi Luga asks, how do I take better pictures of my origami? I feel like the pictures I take look far worse in real life. Okay. Yeah. The short answer is lighting. And lighting. Most important thing, probably. Second most important thing is probably framing and depth. So framing, I'm trying to think of like the most concise things I can say. Okay, so maybe I can. I took some very quick pictures of this guy. I can explain my thought process. That's a good question. Okay. It's a little dark, but let me see. Actually, this is not a very good photo. Okay, this one's better. Right, this photo, it captures most of the details and the pose for the most part. Okay, so I'll explain lighting later. I think the lighting is actually pretty bad for this too, but it does enough. Lighting here, there's no harsh shadow underneath this because I just used a soft light. That's the same light that's lighting my face right now. And there's so much to learn about lighting, so I won't explain all of it. But okay, let's start even just like with my face. The light. So there, like you need to think about light and shadow. So in this case, the light, it's smooth mostly around my face. It's not causing any weird like bright spots in any part. And then the main thing is the angle of the light is so that my chin has a shadow under it, right? And that frames my face nicely and makes my chin look thinner. Now, who's to say I have a double chin or not a double chin? But if the lighting was much worse, now, right, I have 2-point lighting. One of them is not soft. It's making a lot of weird shine on my chin, and it's blending the skin of my neck with my chin. Like this arguably looks way worse, right? And I didn't change anything except the light is there. You know what I mean? Like I look really weird like this versus shadow. So that's one concept. And even with that one concept, you can just do enough. The answer, you get a light, even if it's your phone light, and you diffuse it by putting like a white t-shirt in front of it. All my lamp is right now, this is basically a light bulb. You can see the light bulb actually a little bit with like a big cloth over it. Now it also has like a ton of reflective material around it to help make the light wider, but at the core, all you really need is like a light and some kind of thing to make it not super harsh. And harsh is like your phone, right? This is harsh. This is harsh right here. Even if I took like a paper towel and put it in front of it, okay, well, that might block too much, but right, it still softens it a little bit. Okay, that's quick lighting breakdown. I can talk for hours on everything I've tried to learn about lighting, but we're not going to do that yet today. But you can just go on YouTube, look up lighting for portrait photography, and that should be enough. 2, depth. I think that is the easiest thing you can do to help yourself. So depth would be, instead of taking a picture like this with the model flat to the back, if you took it, like say this is my background. Do you see how the background has blurred out? So even though I have a lot of stuff going on in the background, which you shouldn't have in your background, but sometimes you don't have a choice, it still looks better because the focus is on my origami. And this effect, your camera might not always do it, but most phone cameras can do it if there's enough space behind. And even if it doesn't make it this blurry, it'll still be better in general. So with this photo, I made sure that the model was a good enough distance away from the background. Like this isn't a pretty tight spot, but I made the corner in the farthest back just so that it's not really distracting from the origami. And the more you can have, the better. Okay. Hopefully that I love that question. Kubiluga, we could analyze a lot of photography. I think that's where I'll stop myself for now, just so that we're not here for 24 hours. But great question. Feel free to come back another stream, ask the same question, and I'll try to say something different. And we can go stuff later. Imam, hello. You like the 4 nights? You're streaming on YouTube. I am. So sorry, Instagram is very hard to read the chat, but I'll try to keep up. But thanks for joining the stream. Hello. Dejvos and M Nash. Bro, I'm gonna unfollow you. Can I name a country for an edit? United States. King Baby says, I bet you can make some sick paper. Hello, Kuya. Hey, Rain. Hello. Sorry I took so long. M Nash, I was yapping. Please don't unfollow me, but you can. It's your choice. It's okay. Demjan, photography by Boyce, new channel. I don't think I'm quite good enough at photography to do photography by Boyce, but that'd be fun. All right. Did I miss anything else? Hand is so detailed. Thank you, Emma. Oh, Kubiluga. I see you guys bouncing around the different social medias. Let's go. All right. So let's okay, I think I got everything. Let's get back to the other part of the stream, which is reviewing the members, and we shall continue our study of origami. And I'm just gonna leave these guys here for now, just to keep y'all company while I go grab some water and maybe a coffee. Maybe just water. Might be too late for coffee. All right, so hang tight. I'll be right back. Hello. Okay, I am back. Yo, yo, yo. Was it weird the first time I used Orit for the first time? Yes, I was scared of all the buttons. And then I learned how to use all the buttons, or I used how to use some of the buttons. I still sometimes learn new things about Orit. Like every few months, I'll be like, oh, I didn't realize that button could do that. Or like that you could change the background, or that you could make an isometric grid. But now I'm pretty comfortable with it. I think I still don't know what everything does, but I know enough of what things do. Isometric grid. You can do the hexaplete scorpion. Where is it? HP. Let's just do human. To draw this grease pattern, you tilt the grid by 30 degrees, I think. Like that. Not like that. That's just okay, so you tilt it negative 30 degrees, right? And then you change something. Wait, is this showing on stream? Here we go. Let me make the grid lines bigger. Okay, and then this is like 16, and then you do something here. Oh man, maybe it's been too long. Set interval 90. You said to 60, is that right? 30. 60. Like this, I think. Yeah. And then you can draw everything. Is that showing up on stream? Oh, hello, Simlina. Thanks for joining the stream. Packet. Oh, I'm not reading your full name. Hello, thank you for joining the stream as well. Do you like Phoenix or Spinosaurus? Ooh, from Kamiya's design? I think I like the Phoenix more than the Spinosaurus. Both are cool, though. Yeah, both are very cool. Yeah, so again, there's like something to learn about Orit every time. Okay, so let's go to... Oh, actually, did I leak the screen? Forget you saw that. I don't know if I think I did post that somewhere. I think it's in Discord, but... whatever. I don't think that one's on my website. Oh no, that one's public. It's on a t-shirt. Yeah, that's fine. My grid looks weird now. Oh well, we're gonna ignore it. Let's go back to this display. All right, now we are going to go back to reviewing our members. So we've done 2 of 7. So we're gonna go from order of time, and next we're gonna look at Hershey. And oops, that opened in the wrong tab. The crease pattern is insane. Thank you. Ayush, good to see people still doing origami. What's the software? Oryedits. Oryedits. You can Google it, and I think the website will pop up. Yeah, that worked. Okay, I need to click the right one. Here we are. And then go to Discord, open link. There it is. And then same thing here. All right. So this is by Hershey, who asked the previous question, I think. Is there anything you would recommend me to try to fold as a next step after folding Hoyo Takashi's Violinist? That's a good question. Did you fold the Violinist from the diagrams? So do you have the book? If you have the book, I think any of the other humans would be good to practice. And then that's a good question. If you want to try a box pleat human, there's plenty to try. If you want like a 22 and a half human, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think, honestly, what you should do is you should find one that looks cool and fold that. Because it's going to be a lot better to fold things that you want to fold than for me to tell you something that you might not want to fold. Will you fold Ryujin 3.5? I've already folded Ryujin 3.5. And because you asked, I will show it. Because why not? I think I mentioned that, like, every time I show this, because it took so long, if anyone asks about it, I will show it on stream. Every time. Mine's getting a little bit worn out. The paper is starting to get some age. But still pretty cool. How can I start learning origami? Your work inspired me again to learn it. Oh, awesome. So the great thing is there's a lot of resources on YouTube. I would look up Tadashi Mori or Joe Nakashima and then start from the easy models and then go up into the intermediate and some of the harder ones. But like, there's so many. So don't feel like you have to start with anything too crazy like what I'm doing, but start simple and then just keep, like, if you're enjoying it a lot, then try something a little bit harder. Try something a little bit harder after that. If you're running into your paper's too small, then you can watch my videos on how to make bigger paper, and then you can just keep going from there. But even just following YouTube tutorials, you can get pretty far in origami. You know, I'm starting to feel like I should probably glue some of this down so it survives more years. Even though I don't really want to. Yeah. Some of these scales are getting a little bit loose. It's making me a little scared. I started origami with Jeremy Schaefer. Yeah, Jeremy Schaefer's channel. Amazing. And it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Okay. Sorry. Little distraction there. Let's go back to Hershey. It's an amazing fold. Whoa. Display models have a hard life. Yes, they do. Especially if they have to travel. I want to build this one. What are the prerequisites? I have to fold Ryujin on. If you want to fold Ryujin, the prereqs are. You should be able to fold this one from crease pattern. You should be able to fold any crease pattern. I should say that there should not be a crease pattern that looks hard. If you're confident with every crease pattern, then you can fold Ryujin. If Ryujin seems hard to you, don't fold it. Only fold it when it feels easy. So get really good at every other origami, and it'll make your Ryujin a lot better. If you fold Ryujin and you think it's hard, it probably won't look good when you finish. That's just how it is. So, and this is kind of a meme. You don't have to fold this. This is just practice. But I think too many people fold Ryujin who shouldn't fold Ryujin. They fold it way too early without being good enough to make it look good. And then they waste all the time. That's my hot take, and a very honest take. I think there's a lot of bad looking Ryujins out there. So that's my recommendation. If you want to be the most efficient and actually make a good looking one, fold it when you're already really good at origami. That might not be the answer you were hoping to hear, but that's my answer. Okay, let's go to Hershey. This is a great design. This is the shachihoko by Fumiaki Kawahata. Really nice design, and Hershey describes it as the cleanest fold I think I've done. Maybe critique the photography. I know nothing about taking good photos, but any critique is good. All right, so let's see. I think in general, let me just praise the folding. I think it's nice. I think this is really good. This is what looks like a Nicholas Terry tissue foil or terry foil, which actually is a excellent paper choice for this model. It looks, this is like 99% chance it's terry foil because I can see the other side of the color right here, I think. That or it's the lighting. But I think this right here reveals to me it's Nicholas Terry terry foil. Great job. There's some scales here. I like that they're not shaped. I think it probably at this angle would not look good shaped. It'd be upside down. So really nice small detail there. I like the little squash for the eye. Everything about this looks really clean, and clean models make me happy. We can see from this angle, even like everything looks pretty good. I think this right here makes me less happy. I know you don't need glue for this model. But it wouldn't hurt just so you don't have this. But hey, if you take photos where you don't see this angle, then you don't need anything. But like maybe just something to clip this stuff together. If you really want it, like again, this is if you wanted to display this somewhere. The only thing that's really distracting is this whole gap. But other than that, that's just me being picky. Okay, photography. So one good thing about this is that you took it outside. And when you take photos outside, we have one light source, which is the sun. And the sun is a great light source, right? You can't find anything really brighter than the sun for a light source. So the result of that is you get just one natural shadow. You don't get weird shadows. So kind of like the point I said when I shined the iPhone light on my face with the other light, it made it really weird looking because there's multiple shadows happening at the same time. Actually, even right now, I have my room lights on, but watch if I turn them off. If I turn off the lights, okay, maybe you can't tell because of my camera, but the shadows get even stronger from the single point light. And single point lighting is a good way to go. So decent choice here. Now, the problem you run into when you take pictures outside depends on where you live in the world and depends at what time you take the photo. So in this case, we have a lot of the screen. This is, I'm guessing it's around midday, maybe in the afternoon, early afternoon. Because a lot of the light temperature is very warm. All right, so an extreme case of warm temperatures is like here, right? You can see the orange. It's very orange. That's not always the best thing. It can be kind of distracting from times. And if you're taking pictures when it's like around this time, the light just isn't as good quality when you're considering everything else in the background. So like these reds are just like a little bit distracting out here. I like that there's depth. So it doesn't really matter that this is here, but it's still here. It's like a little bit weird. And even this red, like, do you see how the red color is like not even like this kind of red? So everything, it's just like It's a little bit weird. It doesn't show the nice crisp gold. It's a little bit distracting. In fact, if I do this really quick, hold on, let me cook. Oh, why is it saving as not a PNG? One second. Give me a second. I'm going to edit the photo so that it doesn't have a background, and we can just see how much. And like, this is gonna be a really janky edit, but what it'll do is allow us to get a good idea of what a really clean photo potentially can do for this model. The unfortunate thing about doing this, we're going to lose the shadow. I think the shadow is actually in a really nice position. Let me see if I can have it regenerate the shadow. Okay. The model's also in a place I've never seen before, the outside. I think outside's okay, but hey boys, have I folded the Origami Fire Dragon designed by Cade Chan? I have. I actually have a post. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of my Instagram, you'll find a very tiny one. It's like on a paintbrush, I think. And that actually introduced Cade to my Instagram. I think he followed me after I posted that and reposted it on his page. And I was like way long ago when I was I was like freaking out. I thought it was, yeah. Okay. Let me upload this now. Sorry, it's just taking a little bit and a little bit of my focus. Okay, so yeah, really janky edit, but let's close this. Let's go to this web page and then back to here. Okay. So again, really janky edit, but imagine just like without the distraction of everything else, it could look a lot better, a lot cleaner even. Now this is like a kind of a bad example because there's no floor to really compare it to, but like even with this nice depth, even if you just like maybe got rid of the, like just get rid of that. Oh, maybe I can actually do that in my editing software. But like this blue, this red, get it out of there. Take a photo where you don't see this and you only see the red table, same angle, and you take it at like 9 in the morning. The photo will become really nice. Really, really nice. All right, maybe that was yeah, maybe this is just like a bad example, but taking photos outside, yeah, there's a little bit more you have to think about. But like the angle's fine. The angles are good. It's just like background composition, not so good. Oh, thanks for joining, Eric. I'll see you later. Good stuff, good stuff. Little guy looks so goofy. Terryful 12-inch. Okay, sweet. I guess it correctly. Could be like time to fold another region. That's so funny. All right, so, but yeah, very nice. All right, what else did Hershey ask? Good photos. Any critique is good. Okay. Let me think if I can think of anything else. I don't know. This looks like you had a lot of fun folding it. So I really like this. Yeah, no, I think this is great. I think, yeah, if there's anything besides the photo, which again, it's not like a terrible photo, it's just like a little distracting. Let me actually look what this fish, the fins look like, because I think it's just the tail that I really have a critique on. So shachihoko is a sea monster, actually. All right, you know, maybe this fin is fine because the tail fin is kind of crazy looking. But yeah, I think the only thing I'm not happy about is that. Other than that, excellent, really great. It's 3D, right? There's shaping, there's form, super clean. You know, maybe if I'm gonna be really picky, instead of folding this flat, you could make it puffed out like a little bit, so it's like a rounded shape. And what you'll get is just like a little bit of shadow right in here to help with the eye. And you'll get like a, yeah, it'll just make it like a little bit less or a little bit more noticeable for the eye. But that's if you want. Very nice. Okay, let's go to the next member. Tabby, have I seen Kung Fu Panda 4? Have I seen Kung Fu Panda 4? Which one is 4? I don't think so. I think I've seen 3. I've definitely seen 1 and 2. Good movies. All right, here we have... Oh, this is a good one. So this is from the plant psychologist, who's already been mentioned a few times this stream. But, you know, okay, this is a good example of background photography. Okay, so the lighting. So can you see how this is, right, this one had orange. And Hershey, this is for you too. Okay, now I don't have a teal here, but here just the tone is more towards blue, right? It's more bluish. It's not this blue. It's like it's a what we call a teal, so like a blue green. And how I can really tell is the white balance, the temperature of it is more blue. So like this is white, but the color it's closer to is actually blue versus orange. And to me, this helps with colors because, again, look how green the background looks. And the nice thing about this background, even though there is stuff going on, because there's depth, it doesn't make it distracting. It's a clear background that's non-intrusive, where the focus is just on this, right? So our eyes go here first. It kind of goes to like this one and this one. And then my eyes travel down a little bit. Then it recognizes, oh, this is a hand. Hello, hand. And then my eyes look a little bit outside. It's like, okay, now it travels around. Oh, I see it's outside. So that's kind of like the path my eyes are traveling. Just like, it's basically like this. And that is very good. That's very, very good. When the focal point is first and then the background is last. And yeah, the green, again, works because of depth, and it doesn't block any of the details for these. Now, this is the, if you haven't been following Brandon Wong, you really should. They're one sheet of paper. This was a top comment. I think it was the top comment series that Plant's doing is a series on Reels where he makes the top comment. And this top comment was 2 otters, I think, holding hands. So they're holding hands. What a genius design. It's both efficient, very cute, very recognizable, and it looks simple. And that simpleness works so well for this. Like, so cute, so cute. significant others, small details for little ears, right? Like just overall very cute. I think this is one of Plant's best designs of recent, actually. I don't know. I just love this so much. It's super cute. It's small. It's just with regular origami paper, but it's so insane. And it racked up, a couple 100,000 views, or maybe it's even past 1 million now. Who knows? But yeah, very awesome. There's not really anything to critique about this design. He didn't ask for it either. But I just want to say, to design something like this is what we would call a multi-axial model, where a plant has defined two axes of two subjects that are happening. And if you want to understand more about this will be on Plant's channel. But it's a actually much more complex topic than you would generally approach if you're first learning design, even though it's a simple model. So yeah, sometimes simple models can be more challenging or more complex in ways you don't quite realize. But very cool, very cool. All right, let's go to the next one, which is Shangnara. And here we have two photos. One a reference and one the actual fold. And it's actually, man, this is good. So we're jumping back into the other realm of really complex origami. Tabby, good luck on the live stream and good night, everyone. Hey, thanks Tabby, for joining the live stream. And thanks for wishing everyone a good night. I hope you have a good time, or I hope you had a good time and you get some good rest. Demjin, when you retire, can I buy the table that you've been using all these years of making origami? This one? I don't know if it'll exist by the time I retire. The model, okay, yeah, I read that already. The only annoying thing is the terry foil, which is true. Terry foil can be annoying. Steve, I submitted work that is more based around doing exercise. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll review that next, Steve, and then I'll leave the last one to be like an actual model from Dex, actually. Okay, so wait, was it? Oh yeah, it is from Dex. Okay, yeah, we'll end off on that. Okay, so this is that, or that was the reference. This is Shangnara's. Oh, you can't see. Here we go. Reference, fold. Isn't that cool? So this is a 2-in-1 model, very complex. Now Shangnara asks for tips to improve on this design, and the design is Maharana Pratap, which I might be pronouncing wrong, so my bad. And it's a 64 by 128 grid. So it's a rectangle, actually, a 1x2 rectangle. Which is a smart way to do this, actually, with how the two models are positioned. Let me just Google this so I don't make any... I've just got like an inch of information. Okay, so it was... or this person... Maharana Pratap was a king in northwestern India in the 1500s. So historical figure. Yeah, historical figure. Very cool. Guessing a warrior and king as to the reference image. And yeah, executed very nicely in origami form. Here we have, right, so like in terms, we have figure, sword. Actually, looks like some weapons on the back. Maybe this is a shield and a spear. I think it is a spear. I think the spear comes down to here. And then we have the horse over here. And this horse is, which we don't have another angle of it, but it looks like this portion of it must be unique to the character, as is kind of in here being shown, where it's got this ornate kind of headpiece. All right, so let's see. Let's look at the figure first. So at least in the reference, okay, there's a few things I think that are easy to point out to help improve. So in the reference, right, we've got a sash, helmet, armor, And then the defining features, at least from here, is this nice mustache. And I can't tell if this is like the strap for the helmet or if there's like some beard or maybe like a chin goatee type thing going on. But I think a beard would work really well for here if that's your case, because for origami, beards work really well, I think, for the face. So like here, I don't know, or at least this is what I assumed could be a beard. And if you have this here, I think if you can like add a bunch of texture into the paper to make it look like either a beard or a mustache, that would help a ton. Next up, we have flaps for the nose. I think this, it's just like the shape, it should come down a little bit more here. If the next thing is the mustache. Something like this. Maybe pull the mustache up a little bit higher, like here. And then our chin should be here. So there's a little bit of proportion stuff going on, but in terms of like the current structure, this is kind of what you want to aim for. And as I'm drawing this head, you can tell that the eyes are also too far apart. So currently the eyes are like here and here. And I talked about this before about using eye flaps where it's sitting too far over the rest of the face, and that's really happening here. Like we have so much depth that the shadow is coming in the cheek, and that shouldn't be the case. If anything, you want shadow to be in place of the eye or below the eye ridge. And even like if I just draw like the distance here between the eyes and the nose, right? Like look how much distance there is. If I look at myself, there's a very small distance between the eye and the nose. And in our reference image, there is very little distance between our eye and the nose, right? So that will help a lot in terms of face proportions, getting those eyes closer to the nose and not having them so far on top of the cheek. In fact, like this looks like the brim of the hat, and that might be where the eye flaps are coming from. So if that's the case, I would personally just fold the nose, fold the mustache, and not do the eyes at all. And I think you'll have a bigger success doing that than trying to get flaps for the eyes, because that's pretty hard. The rest of it looks really cool. The helmet looks, I love the shapes here going on. Like it's a pretty complex shape. Looks really nice going out towards here. And I think the head proportion is okay. It's just the face is a little bit too long in the head. So if you keep the head the same size, it's literally just the face needs some fixing. So maybe the chin a little bit higher. And then what I said about the eyes and the nose, and you'll be spot on. What else? Just, okay, tips to improve this design. Okay. The other thing, so 2-in-1s are hard, especially for photographs. If I want to make your work, do I have to buy the crease pattern? My crease patterns are all free for the most part. If they're on my website, they're all free. You don't have to buy anything. What you can make by just folding paper is amazing. I wish I had the patience, skill to design origami and not just draw creatures every day. Hey, drawing is cool, man. I think if more origami people learn to draw better, they could make better origami. But, you know, it's never too late to learn origami. And because you can already draw, I'd say you have an advantage. Voice's table wields great power. That's funny. Okay, so other tips I have about this design. This is an execution thing, Shangnara. If you're watching this later, the spear is curving like this. And this is kind of picky, but you probably don't want your spear to curve, right? So make sure when you shape it, or if you're gluing it, like make sure it's straight. I think this might just be the angle, but it looks like the sword's a little curvy as well. And you can have a curve in your sword if the sword, yeah, like if that's part of the blade, like, right? So this is like a Chinese Dao sword, which is a curved blade. But if the curve is on, like, if it's on not the blade cutting side, then like, right, you don't want your sword to like, if the blade is supposed to cut this way, but it's curving this way, right? That's just like a bent sword. So small execution stuff. Otherwise, things are looking pretty okay. Oh, what's up, Trays? Thank you for subscribing. Welcome. Okay, if I'm gonna be picky, so I think the proportions here are, I can't tell if this is the photo or anything, but like the torso, the entire upper body looks good. I think the legs are a little bit short. So this looks, I don't know. It's close. It could just be the photo that they look a little bit short, but I can't exactly tell. At least because like the ankle is here. Like this one looks like a little bit short. I can't tell with this one. But maybe look for yourself, Shignar, and just make sure that these legs are not too short, or that the torso is not too long. It would be the other thing. But like elbow to rib cage looks good. Hand to thigh looks good as a reference point. So it might be correct. It might be fine. The last thing I'd like to mention is more so about this being a 2-in-1. So I think the reason this reference image works so well, and like this might change the design a little bit, but like we have our figure, he's looking at us. We have the second figure, it's also looking at us, right? So the intention is for the camera, right? Obviously there's no camera here, but like the audience, the person looking at it, is getting the feedback back. Now the problem with this one, which again in real life doesn't matter, but in photos, if you're designing for a photo, this guy is looking this way and we can't see him. We can't see much of the horse at all. We can see this, but we really can't appreciate the 2-in-1, at least in one photo, because it's not the same. Now, this is, again, very different. A lot of times we design origami for photograph because that's the way we share it with the rest of the world. So in this case, at least I would maybe want the horse to be aimed this direction. I don't know what design structure it is, if this is possible, but I think if you could get it aimed in that direction, it would look really nice. So again, small, random, weird tip because of internet, but might be fine in real life. He's John Cena. The horse is John Cena. That's why. Oh, okay, that might be a good point. That might be a good point. Is the horse is a John Cena cosplayer? Yeah, Ayush, you don't have to buy my crease patterns. Oh, I already answered that. Okay, cool. But yeah, overall, great design, Shignar. Very, very cool. Very complex. Looking really good. And then let's look at what Steve shared. And let me drink some water. Okay, actually, these I might just share Discord. There's a little bit too many photos. Hopefully it's not too weird to make this go back to Discord. Cool. All right, so here, let me make sure I'm not blocking. So this is kind of in progress, and Steve mentioned that it was work that's more based around doing exercises and creating limbs and using Orit to find solutions faster. So photos for research, yeah, making limbs in different edges of the paper with 22.5. Grid used to add rivers and paper for maneuvering. Okay, so in this case, we just have kind of a basic 22 and a half structure from each corner, which I'm guessing is like a blint space. Something along those lines. Hold on, I'm trying to get my drawing tool. Here we go. So this is pretty cool. This is one way. And then this would be like with the layers unwrapped over itself. Very nice. So you get 4. This is how long these flaps would be. And then technically with the rest of the paper, the rest of it is a river, or it's just the space allocated elsewhere. Next, we have that same thing folded in half, right? So we, again, the same length, and then we can see represented by this is how much space is left in between. In this case, we have the color change alternate. This is really cool to share, Steve. I like this. I like your study that's going on. Right here, we have kind of the same goal, right? So we had a pleat here to give that space. So actually, with the grid, we technically have gained this one pleat, and then using some maneuvers on the edge, we have a flap of this long, and it's connected like that. So it is a pretty short flap in retrospect to the other things going on here, but this is one way we could do it. And again, here we have that flap sticking out here. And so it's like a very similar molecule, just placed in a specific allocation on a grid. Very nice. Here we have it allocated a little bit bigger. This is a little bit more of a complex thing going on here to get it to fold. This one I can't exactly tell the rest of it, but we can see him working on maneuvering this flap into space, and also maybe getting another flap using some swivels or some reverse folds over here, just with the resultant paper, because you kind of get that when you work with 22 and a half. Pretty neat. Some more flaps. So we have a whole arrangement when they're all laid together, right? Nice thing with 22 and a half is you don't exactly have to allocate the same spacing if you can just kind of get it to the right spot and shape around it. Here we have like the back of an animal. We have a tiny tail from the resultant flap, and then this is 22 and a half degree flaps. You could do this with, like, if you fold like half a bird base into the back of a model, you kind of get this on a vertical edge, or like something like a what is it, like if you had a, hold on, like this sort of thing. I think that sort of structure. Oh, this one's interesting. This is differently allocated with some other folds put in. Much bigger. This, I think, involves a sync fold here, and seeing how that affects pulling this out. And this is at a different angle. So this would be like if you took a base like this, where it's got like a little triangle thing, and then you did a sync fold from folding this part in, I think, and then you get the resultant shape. Like if this was your pre-crease, and then you get the rest of the flaps, it's just in bigger size. Very nice. You get some, I don't exactly know how you got that shape, but that's pretty cool. Oh, and then here is the other stuff. Oh, this is cool. So Steve is designing in parts in Orit now to get this. Oh, this is really cool. I like this a lot, Steve. This is really, really interesting. So you can see Steve is learning how to design and really gaining understanding in small components at a time with the same subject and just like iterating on that. So this is a really good way to kind of get yourself there. And the important thing that Steve is doing is trying, right? He's got the paper, he's got Orit. He's not worried if he doesn't make a full dog, right? But he's getting there. And he'll maybe have one at some point, but what's more important is he's understanding each part of, you know, what he's trying to get. And I think that's really awesome. Here's some horned owl study of how Steve kind of developed that. And this thing in the middle, I see, that's what this came from. That's a whole lot of iteration, right? Very, very neat. I think even the horned owl, right? You can see how much it's changed from maybe like the first fold to the final one, right? Like again, starting from here where we just had those shapes and the flaps folded up like this, the ears, all the sort that sort. Oh, I see. So that was like this thing, right? So we can see that now. And then like where did Steve go from that? He went from that to this, where like some of that became structures. Like for the eye here, we have this little like gusset type thing to add volume and enable the beak to be more, you know, noticed. Very cool. Much more 3D and much more looking like a full design compared to this. Right. So very well done. Very well done, Steve. Thank you for sharing this. This is really cool. Turn into a fish. Why does changing an avatar have to be a whole mood? I don't know. Changing an avatar? Like on Discord? Like a profile picture? Not sure. Okay. But yes, thank you, Steve. And then we have one more small submission by Dex, and this is just a nice simple design to review. And this is a ghost mask. I think this looks like from those movies, like what is it, Scary Movie or Scream, something like that, with the ghost face. Yeah, did a nice little study. So I think here, this is probably just like a doodle that Dex was doing, right? Normally he does those crazy skeletons, but sometimes you just need to take a step back, take a smaller piece of paper and just try to create something for fun. And I'm guessing that's what Dex was doing here. You know, maybe he's just fiddling around, thought it almost looked like this scary mask, and then just sent that idea and turned it into the full thing. But yeah, very, you know, simple looking structure, just some edge flaps here, edge flaps here, get a slight color change, just do a little swivel fold for the eye. And then down at the bottom, again, just have like, maybe this is like kite base, right? So this is the corner of the kite base, valley folded up with these things, mountain folded behind, and then you just open it to get color change, something like that. So really neat, right? You don't have to do anything too structurally crazy to get color changes or just kind of get what you want. So yeah, very nice, very nice. If you have a good stream, guys, thank you, man. Hershey, I don't know if Dex is still here, but that's from the 22.5. I see. The 22.5 challenge for July. I see. Yeah, very, very cool. Very cool. Oh, all right. And it is getting pretty late. So I think with that wraps up this month's member post, which I think was really interesting. We saw a whole range of different models, which I really like. And I think the advice and some of the critiques I was able to give were pretty varied across the whole platform. So I hope people learned a lot from this. We got Hershey and Steve in the chat, right? Hopefully you guys took some inspiration. Hershey, if you have more questions on photography, feel free just to keep hitting up the members Discord. Like you can put this photo, like next, whatever you're folding next, right? You can do some photos, put them in the chat, be like, hey, what can I improve on that? I can get back to you a little bit faster. And we can just iterate. We can go through that process and get you like that real nice photo that would kind of look like this, maybe. All right, stuff like that. Benefit for members, by the way. If that interests you, feel free to join and get some more or quicker advice and quicker response to get better at origami. But yeah, we talked about a lot of things today, even with the random tangents, with me showing my new design and me roasting it a little bit. And the death battle submissions, which were crazy. But yeah, there's much more I'd like to share, probably in a different stream, whether it is about folding, shaping, or photography of our origami. I am very passionate about those things. I've been trying to do them for a very long time. So hopefully you were able to learn something as well and just observe how I'm analyzing these things. And maybe you can apply that analysis to your everyday life when you see cool origami on the internet. I think that'd be the most efficient way to take what you heard from the stream and start applying it, right? Or at least it's very fast to apply. Okay, I'll try to take an updated picture of that fold tomorrow with your critiques. Awesome. Yeah. And feel free to just drop it and I'll give slight pointers and stuff like that and then go from there. But Steve's going to bed. I think I'm headed to bed soon too. Again, I'm going to be gone for next week. I know it's going to be a little bit of gap in content. I might try to release some shorts or something. In the meantime, I have no guarantees, but we will try to be back around in time the week after, maybe around midweek. I don't know about Friday. It's going to be kind of interesting. And after that, we're just going to be giga grinding to finish off the Fake Head Empty project, get the convention vlog out, and get ready for some more collaboration, some more origami, and finish this dude all together. Should be pretty exciting. Thank you everyone for watching. If you're watching this as a VOD or even just ending the stream, let me know in the comments the most favorite thing you learned about. Maybe just a topic or just share something you learned. I think that'd be pretty cool. Excited for the vlog? Me too. Thanks for joining, guys. Have a good one. Have a good weekend. And I'll see you in the next video. See ya.